Hi, it's Shalia. I haven't been on here in a very long time, so it's my first video in a while. Please be patient and kind with me, because I don't know if I can get two words put together. But I'd like to talk about a project that's near and dear to my heart. It's working with women in the Nakivale Refugee Settlement in Uganda. And it's something I've been doing for the last 6 months. Every single Friday in the afternoon, we show up together as a community and we share. And what we share about are the most important principles that I can imagine for any human life. They're the three principles of mind, consciousness, and thought, as discovered and shared by Sydney Banks, a great enlightened teacher. And in sharing these three principles, also called the 3P, people discover a deep well of peace within themselves, a great deal of strength and resilience, love and wisdom. And those things are so critical and so important for the women in the Nakivale Refugee Settlement. You cannot imagine, as a Western human being who comes home to a warm house and a refrigerator full of food, what it's like to flee your country because of war and conflict, and land up in a refugee camp where you live in a tent or a lean-to with all of your children together in one tiny little place with a lack of food, with very little, if at all, any medical care, no possibility for your children to go to school, not knowing on any given day what is going to happen to you. I don't want to get too graphic about it today. I don't know what the algorithm does as far as like what I'm allowed to say or what I'm not allowed to say, but it's a life of incredible hardship. And many of the women who are in our groups, they have lost everything before coming to the camp. Their families, their livelihood, their identity, practically. Many of the women that we speak with have come from not necessarily a well-off place in their home country, but many of them have studied, gone to college, became accountants and logistics experts, very smart and intelligent people, and they end up in the camp with no opportunity for employment, no way to make a living, no way to get the resources they need to put food on the table for themselves or their children. And a lot of the women that we speak to on Fridays, especially when they first get into the group, they're about ready to give up. Some of them have considered more than once taking their own lives, and they have lost hope. They've lost a feeling of being loved, of loving themselves. They are understandably caught up in thinking about what they've lost, what has happened to them, circling and overthinking and ruminating in their mind about all of it, or in a feeling of anxiety about the future, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to become of their children, being in this circumstance. And our group on Friday is a safe space. It's a safe space where they can come, let go of the burdens from their lives for a moment, where they can be in community and in fellowship with one another, where they can share their stories, their thoughts, their feelings, but also what they're seeing, their insights and their wisdom. And we go in every Friday. Sometimes I teach, sometimes Paola Real teaches, sometimes we have guest speakers. Every month we have someone from their own community in Africa to share And we talk about empowering topics. One such empowering topic recently was comparison, letting go of comparison to regain your confidence. So many people there are comparing what they have to what others have or what they don't have, and feeling less than, not enough, just like we do. We're all the same. You know, it's the human condition to compare. And when we do that, we lose our happiness, or we feel disconnected from a good feeling. So we talked about that, and we helped them to realize that comparison is something they can let go of. Something they can let go of and come back to their well-being, knowing that they are valuable, they're worthy, that they always were, that it never went away, that they have a unique and special life as it is. We talk about forgiveness on some Fridays. The women have a lot to forgive. You know, forgiveness, when we talk about it and we find out, it's the greatest form of self-love. It's letting go of negative thinking. It's letting go of thinking of what has happened to you and who has gone against you. It's letting go of negative thinking about yourself. It's forgiving yourself. So they learn about the role of thought and how letting go of negative thinking brings peace. David once spoke about in the group that he spent 2 years in a state of non-forgiveness, to the point he was so depressed he would just wander around for days on end. And David is our translator, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm mentioning a man in a women's group. But we do have some good men there. They do show up there as well. Yeah. And we talk about the wisdom within. We point everyone to the fact that there is something deeply intelligent within them, guiding them through life, that makes them capable of navigating any circumstance, no matter how easy or how difficult. That is such a beautiful thing to find out for each and every member of our women's group, that they can look within to find answers for their life and feel confident that's what's coming through them is their truth, that's leading them to more health and to more sanity. You know, because sometimes the overthinking that we do as human beings, it leads just to a feeling of insanity. And finding your wisdom is just one of the most beautiful things in the world. There's so many topics. You know, if you feel called to do so, go check out our YouTube channel. I'll post the link underneath the video, and you can go watch all of the classes. We've recorded them, and they're online for anyone to watch. And in my mind, there's not one human being who wouldn't benefit from watching them, even though it looks like they're geared toward the women in the refugee camp, and they are. It's relevant for every human life because our experience is universal. Our experience is universal. So I'm going to post the link to our GoFundMe, and if you want to have a look at it, I'm going to give you a few words about it. So the way that we empower these women in sharing this understanding, this beautiful understanding of the 3 principles, is we do it virtually. So they have a phone. We have 3 groups, altogether about 150 women, approximately 50 women per group. And each of them has a phone. And some of the phones work well, and some are broken and don't always work. We'd love to replace those telephones, those mobile phones, with laptops, with a real proper screen where they can see us more clearly. Imagine trying to get taught something or being in a sharing with one little tiny telephone and 50 other women around you. It's not only hard to see if you're sitting in the very front row, but it's also hard to hear if you're a few rows back. So we would love to get them laptops. We would love to get them speakers so that they can, burst out the sound into the room so everyone can hear well. And we want to get them Wi-Fi and data. In Africa, especially in the refugee camps, data is expensive and they have to pay for it themselves, and they don't have a lot of resources to get that internet data. So we'd like to be able to support them with that for the next year so they can easily get online. We can connect, we can be in our sharing and in our fellowship together. So that's what this GoFundMe is about. It's about raising money to enable them technically for the sharing, that they can keep showing up, which they do, without a doubt, every Friday, but in a way that's easier for them to hear, see, and participate in the sharing. So all of those informations are put together on our GoFundMe page, and you can find them there detailed, like how many laptops do we want to get, how many speakers, how much does each of them cost in Ugandan shilling, how much does that mean in euros, and you can see what we're trying to raise funding for. And you can be assured that 100% of that funding that we raise is going directly to our women's group for Friday for the 3P sharing. I'm in contact with someone who will take the money from me and distribute it fairly to the groups. Yeah, you can be sure of that. So, yeah, is there anything else that I want to say? Yeah, the world looks a bit crazy right now, as we all know. It's a bit challenging, a lot going on, geopolitically, environmentally, emotionally, and I just want you to know I see you, and I feel what people are going through in their mind, and I want you to feel the same hope in your life and for the world that these women are starting to feel through our Friday sharings, because our experiences created from moment to moment via our thoughts, and we get to choose which thoughts we focus on and which ones we let go. And that is one of the core of the teaching, and underneath all of those thoughts there is something enormously strong and resilient and wise and loving and peaceful in each and every one of us, in you, that we have access to at any time, that guidance, that being carried by life. And so that's always on offer every single day. And you have in you the awareness to know the difference between stressful thinking and peaceful wisdom. You can feel it. You can choose where you want to go with your experience, with yourself. And so whether you decide to donate today or you don't, we love you. We send you well-being and kindness and connection and unity. It's a big, big part of our group and the effect of our group. We've seen people in the villages getting along much better now, sharing with each other their resources, supporting one another, whereas before they were in a lot of conflict. Peace starts within, but then it overflows into the world. So if you're wondering how to make the world more peaceful, start with yourself. Start with yourself. And like I said, if you do donate or don't, at least go to the YouTube channel, watch some of the lessons. If you're looking for yourself for more peace and happiness within, if you're looking to reconnect with who you really are, We're there for you. And I'll just share this before I get going to my swimming. One of the most beautiful things about Friday is that we give the women and the men that are there, some of the men, we give them a lot of space to share. So it's not just us speaking the whole time. What I mean by us is we white Western people, you know, we give the Africans so much space to share, and they have so much beautiful things to share with us and with you. It's humbling. It's really humbling every Friday. It teaches me every Friday. Like I sometimes feel like I learn more in the Friday lessons than anybody else. It's not just their stories, it's their wisdom, it's their insight, and it's in very simple and practical terms how this understanding helps in a human life, and it is so inspiring. So I do hope you'll go and watch those videos and watch these women sharing their beautiful wisdom. So yeah, that was me online. See you soon. Bye.